Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, August 28. The Ministry of Education will be conducting a readiness assessment of schools for the Primary Exit Profile, PEP. Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid says this is to determine which schools need extra support.
We are not going to leave our teachers behind in this transition. All the information that they have requested will be made available. We have many information already in soft copy. Samples of the items have been already distributed to schools from June. Hard copies will be made available in September, and all other materials, including workbooks and so on.
Minister Reid was speaking at a parent sensitization and consultation session in Montego Bay recently. In preparation for PEP, students have already sat mock exams. PEP replaces the Grade 6 Achievement Test, GSAT, as the secondary school placement examination. Meanwhile, the Education Minister says he has given directives for a parking policy to be implemented in schools across Jamaica. The move became necessary following a motor vehicle parking accident which claimed the life of a student in St. James recently.
We need to make sure we have a parking policy now so that people park face out, right? And on school campus, we also have to have some very clear guidelines.
Minister Reid says the policy forms part of the government's Safety, Security and Behavior Management Program, which will be enforced in schools this year at a cost of $427.6 million. The Ministry of Health is encouraging the deworming of children ahead of the new school term. Consultant pediatrician at the Bustamante Hospital for Children, Dr. Sandrika Young-Peart, says this is important to stop the transmission and also to prevent complications from worm infestation.
It affects how our children may concentrate and may be able to learn. There are actually documented findings that it actually affects your cognitive and your physical development and your ability to concentrate in school.
Dr. Young-Peart was speaking with JIS News on Monday. She says children can get worm when they eat or drink contaminated food or water, when they walk barefoot, and do not wash their hands after using the bathroom. Some of the signs to look for include grinding of the teeth, itching of the anus, weight loss, and tiredness.
They can have other signs and symptoms such as vomiting, abdominal swelling or distension, diarrhea, or constipation. If the worms actually form balls, they can actually block the intestines, and that can either cause constipation and cause the child to vomit. They can also present with wheezing, and we may think they are actually asthmatics, but it's actually the worms that have migrated into the lungs to cause obstruction of the airway and cause the child to wheeze.
Dr. Young-Peart indicates that treatment can be administered through worm medicine and recommends that children be dewormed twice per year. The Registrar General's Department, RGD, will be carrying out an island-wide registration of undocumented Jamaicans. The birth certificate registration is in preparation for the rollout of RGD's National Civil Registry. Project coordinator for the RGD transformation under the National Identification System project, Charlton McFarlane, says St. Thomas is earmarked for September.
After September, I can tell you that we have a schedule outlined up to December 2018, where we'll be looking at, including the one for September, another 2 registration drives that will complete our work plan up to December 2018.
Mr. McFarlane was speaking at a recent JIS think tank. The registration data will also support the implementation of the National Identification System, NIDS.
A birth certificate is what we consider to be a breeder document. It is the main document that will allow you to gain access, meaning to be able to receive your national identification number and card.
The Fair Trading Commission, FTC, is creating a merger review framework to address issues relating to acquisitions and mergers before they take place. FTC Executive Director David Miller says the framework will address negative effects to consumers from these transactions. Mr. Miller says there are usually some levels of outcry from consumers, citing the telecommunication sector as an example.
You see here consumers complaining, prices go up, quality decrease, this is supposed to be better, but it's not really, and I'm feeling the effects. So the competition agency, like the Fair Trading Commission, will look closely at the issues, would conduct interviews of the parties, and make best effort to ensure that consumers are not harmed when the acquisition or the merger takes place.
Mr. Miller was speaking at the JIS think tank on Friday. He says creating the merger review framework will involve consultation with regulators and stakeholders in key sectors. And finally, the Buff Bay Tax Office in Portland will be closed as of September 3. Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ says the closure is to ensure the safety of staff and customers due to the hazardous condition of the building. In a release, the TAJ says staff from the Buff Bay office will be deployed to the Port Antonio and Annotto Bay offices to assist the teams in those areas. The TAJ is urging taxpayers served by the Buff Bay office to collect their documents by August 30, after which these should be collected at the Port Antonio office. The TAJ apologizes for the inconvenience. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.